and I said, guys, can we just take a moment to realize here that we're going to remember this moment for the rest of our professional lives.
This is your captain. Our mission. To chart the stars.
Anson, I would also love to ask you, because of course you've spoken before about the emotional experience about sitting in that captain's chair for the very first time. But I'd also love to hear if you remember stepping into that recording booth for the first time and uttering the Space, the Final Frontier speech.
Space. The Final Frontier.
Because of course there's this famous story about William Shatner having to be forced into a golf cart and rushed to the sound studio, you know, a few days before the first episode aired.
Space. The Final Frontier.
But I'd love to hear your story walking into that recording booth in the footsteps of Shatner and Stewart.
To seek out new life and new civilizations.
To boldly go where no one has gone before.
Well, it's actually a good story because it wasn't a recording booth. We were still under lockdown, so what they did is they sent me this box of recording equipment that I could use at home, and so I was in my basement. The technical team operating this box was in New York, and the post-production team was in Los Angeles, and we were really spending a lot of time on that monologue trying to get it exactly right, because, you know, you got one shot at it, right? And then so we were working on it and piecing this sentence to that sentence, and there were these little pauses that were happening as they were building it, and then and I said, guys, can we just take a moment to realize here that we're going to remember this moment for the rest of our professional lives, that we got to record this monologue. And everybody was like, yeah, that's really cool, it's really cool. And then I realized, and I said, of course, you all realize that William Shatner is in orbit right now. And he was. This was while he was in orbit with Jeff Bezos. We were recording that monologue. I mean, you couldn't make that up. And it was also a great realization, because it took the pressure off of, you know, it just told me, don't try to outdo Shatner.
Right, you just got outdone by Shatner yet again.
The next great age of exploration starts with us.